Now let's take a look at the fourth principle, letter I, interface segregation principle. And again, let's start with Wikipedia page, which will not be very clear, but then we will take a look at the example or a few examples. So, the principle states that no client should be forced to depend on methods it does not use. Doesn't really make sense much, right? But then the Wikipedia gets clearer. So that principle splits interfaces that are very large into smaller interfaces and more specific ones. So this makes more sense. Why would you do that? Let's take a look at the example. Probably the best example is the user model of default Laravel. If you take a look at any model in any Laravel project that you would generate with PHP Artisan Make Model, it extends model. And model is a class, abstract class that implements a lot of interfaces. And user model is with different structure, so it extends authenticatable. Authenticatable is another model on top of general model, which implements a few more interfaces. So all of that implements comma separated, all those are interfaces. So for example, general model implements arrayable, array access, has broadcast channel, JSONable, serializable, routable, queuable, a lot of that stuff. And all of those are contracts. Contracts is just Laravel more like human-friendly way to name the interfaces. So for example, arrayable is an interface, which basically means that every class that implements that arrayable interface must have toArray method. And that toArray method in the model, if we search for toArray, it returns the array merge of attributes and relations. So if we get back to all of that list of implements, that's the point. It is separated to different small interfaces like array access, like JSONable. For example, if we go to JSONable, it has only one method to JSON, and that's the whole point. It's separated, so there's no one interface of like modelable or something. Every model implements a lot of interfaces, and then it makes it easier to maintain the project. So if you work with only JSONs, then you take a look at JSONable interface or method to JSON. If you want to improve something with arrays, you look at these two probably. And for example, with the user model, it has three contracts, three interfaces. For example, authenticatable contract is this one, which is all about auth, identifier, password, token, and that's it. So that's one kind of concern, one topic. Then another one, authorizable, is, if we go to authorizable, it's about roles. So authentication and authorization are separated into two different interfaces. And then the third one is can reset password. So separate interface, it's about resetting the password with two methods. So it's all under interface. It has strict rules of what methods to implement in the class of user or the model, but those interfaces are separated into a lot of small interfaces to make it more manageable.